Yo, what's up? Bit different today. I'm on the couch, a bit more laid back, because I thought I wanted to talk about something a bit different, not about muscle or fitness or the gym or losing weight, any of that stuff. I want to talk about what it actually means to change. But before I get into that, yes, I've got my microphone on a spatula because I see people doing it online all the time. I thought, you know what, fuck it. Why would I not want to do that? I'm going to try to film it with as minimal cuts as possible. I'm going to try to do it in one take just to see what my creative thinking skills are like. But in saying that, I do have my laptop here because I do have a few dot points written down that I want to go over so I don't miss them. Now, the reason I actually want to talk about change is because I think I hear a lot by the people I talk to, the people I coach, people in my DMs, even just like my friends. Everyone seems to like the idea of change and wanting more for themselves and looking at this future version of them. But then as soon as it comes time to actually make the change or start taking action on the change, and it requires them to start letting go of their old self, they start to fall back into their old self because forming the new identity of them isn't really an easy thing to do. And honestly, I've come to that conclusion because I used to do it all the time. I was the king of, I've got a mate that's still actually like this. I was the king of motivation, but no discipline. Like it was super easy for me to say I wanted one thing one day and then say, continue that sort of thought train for the next couple of days. And then as soon as it come time, push comes to shove, I'll just go back to square one and then I'll say it again. And it was just a repeat cycle. I want to talk about my experience with change and where I've been, where I've come from, and sort of how I've got to where I am today. And the first thing I want to talk about is letting go of your old self and like the requirement of letting go to actually be able to change. So growing up, I should say, I was really into my football. Like I was a football player since about 8 years old, played club and school all the way up until I was playing like under 18s reserve sort of level. Now, the biggest turning point for me in my football career was I remember playing for the state teams when I was between the ages of 13 to about 15. And I don't know how I got picked for the team because I thought I was so shit. Somehow I got picked for the team. Don't know if it was a mistake or not, but that really developed my skill in football. And I actually became a good fucking player. And then it got to the time where out of all the different state teams and like the different areas of the identification for the next level, the step under being pro came, I didn't even get selected for the trials for that because I just wasn't a standout player. And I was crying for hours. I remember when my mum got the email, I could not stop crying. And that was really the turning point to me. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm probably not going to make it pro, but I still played football for years after that. And I never really had the same love for football after that because it just hurt. Like it really hurt being told I wasn't good enough for it, even though it's probably not a big thing, but it just sort of changed my outlook on it. And I knew it wasn't going to be my career going pro after that point. So in saying that, year after year, I slowly started falling out of love of playing the game and started focusing on things on the outside, which the things on the outside weren't the best other choices, to be completely frank with you now that I look back on it. But at the time, that's just what I thought was cool. Football was not a priority anymore because I was letting it go. I think the reason why I have no interest really in football anymore or like playing is because I was trying to hold on to the past version of myself for too long that still loved football rather than just calling it a day and just moving on. Then I finally decided to quit football and I moved into the gym. And the gym is still something I'm passionate about. And for me to be able to find something that I was passionate about and enjoy doing and now making a career out of, I had to let go of a previous love to find my new love. Now, taking gym and football out of the equation, let's talk about career choices. I am quite literally the king of different jobs. I have had that many jobs in probably the past 4 years, more than I can count on two hands, because I've never really known or had any sort of guidance or direction on exactly what I wanted to do. I've thought I did, but I just got let down as soon as I got into that situation. So when I came out of school, I went straight into real estate. I was working in real estate for like 2 years. I was working ridiculous hours, like sometimes 12 hours a day, Saturday, Sunday work. I was staying out late. I was putting suits on every day. It was mentally draining because it was so stressful. And I just didn't enjoy the work. Was it good money? Yes, but I didn't enjoy doing it. So I ran away from that job, quit all of a sudden, just dropped it on my boss, went and ran away to Europe, spent 3 months in Europe. Had the time of my life, but I was just partying and fucking being an idiot over there, which I don't regret at all. Got back, went into another job, stayed there for about 2 months, quit that job, went into a retail job, quit that after a couple months, went into another sales career, was there for about 6 months, actually performed really well in that, but then I literally left the job again and traveled Southeast Asia and thinking I was going to find myself in Thailand, which I kind of did. But yeah, that's been probably the last 2 years of job choices. Literally just been chop change. And it hasn't just been jobs that I've been chopping and changing through. It's literally been goals and aspirations, friend groups. Everything in my life has chopped and changed. But what it has taught me, and this is a very obscure way of looking at it, but it's taught me to be able to adapt really well to my situation and learn to be comfortable with the thought of changing, because a lot of people naturally are nervous on like their first day of a new job or their first day at a new gym or the first training session at their new soccer team or fucking whatever their first day is. Bro, that shit don't scare me. I'm so confident when it comes to meeting people, introducing myself, giving off a good first impression, anything like that. I've got that down pat, and I think that has been one of the good things that has come from chopping and changing. It has also taught me so many different skills in everyday life, whether it's sales skills, communication skills, presentation skills, literally anything to do with work, organization skills. But the biggest thing it has taught me is to be able to build new routines and habits quickly. And then when I do fall off, being able to get back on track quickly. Every time I got a new job, every time I quit the job, it was a complete change of scenery. So changing rosters, changing when I had to work, changing when I had to wake up, changing when I got home, change as to what sort of food I could eat depending on what sort of job I was doing. It taught me how to organize and structure my life on my own accord without falling into a trap for too long of being lost, I guess you could call it. I've just sort of realized, I don't know if I've been looking at the camera at all because I've sort of just been in my own thought. Just, this is so weird, but we're doing it. But ultimately, the point I'm trying to get at here is you can't become someone new while desperately holding on to the old version of yourself. Every time I ran away from something, quit something, started something new, anything that changed in my life, I had to completely shift a big chunk of how I was operating physically, mentally, and just day to day. And it taught me that to be able to be a new person, you can't be doing the same things that you used to do. And through all the changes I have made in my recent years, it has led me to start doing something, even if I'm not some massive influencer or some massive millionaire, but I'm now doing something I genuinely enjoy doing. Like I actually genuinely enjoy helping others get in shape, fix their life up, go through change themselves, give guidance. As someone who's, even though I'm not older, I'm still quite young, I have lived quite a bit. I've traveled to 3 different ends of the world, gone through multiple different jobs. I've been deadbeat fucking broke on the couch with $0 to my name, actually negative funds to my name, but I've also had over 100K in my bank account before. Like, complete different ends of the spectrum in pretty much every aspect. I've worked sales, I've worked retail, I've worked in warehouses. Like, I've done it all for someone at such a young age, and now I'm running my own business online. Like, what the fuck? That leads me into when you change something, whether it's yourself or in your life, normally whatever that change is feels a lot fucking worse before it becomes any sort of better. Every time I changed a different job, I was stuck at home, unemployed, no funds coming into my name for sometimes like a month or 2 on end. And that shit was hard, whilst all my other mates, I don't know, not that they're doing anything crazy, but working, going out to eat, and I'm sitting there trying to be like, yeah, nah, I can't really come out to dinner, bro. I'm currently making $0. That shit's hard. And then it got better when you find the job. Or when I got told no, that I wasn't going to really make it into the state team or the next level soccer team, that shit was hard, because then I started falling out of love with the game. But it only led me to eventually quitting and then finding something I'm even more passionate about, which is the gym. But the biggest thing I've learned that over the past few years, through going in and out of jobs, changing career choices, traveling over the world, doing all these different things, is it's okay to feel behind. And I know that sounds so cliche, because I still feel like I'm behind in a lot of aspects. Like, I've got mates driving really nice, expensive fucking cars. They've got heaps of money in investments and in stocks and all this different shit, which, I mean, I used to have, but not anymore, because I've sold it all to do whatever I wanted to do, run my own business, travel and do all that shit. But so I still feel behind, but it's okay to feel behind, because if you're not doing something you like doing, you're always going to feel behind, because even though you could be doing something you don't like doing and have fucking all the money in the world, but because you don't like doing it, you're going to feel like you're missing out compared to someone who is really enjoying what they're doing, but might not have as much money as you. And that person who really enjoys what they're doing but doesn't have as much money probably feels behind, because they're looking at you who has heaps of money, but they don't know that you don't like what you're doing. It's like what's the phrase? A double-edged sword. No, that's not it. I think it is. But pretty much, you could be looking at someone else thinking you are behind because they have something you don't. But the chances are they're probably looking at you thinking the exact same thing. And I have been so guilty of this so many times, where I've looked at people, like sometimes even my close mates, and I'll just think to myself, fuck, like I wish I had that. But then those people that I'm looking at feeling behind compared to are the same ones messaging me saying that I'm killing it. They wish they could be doing what I was doing. They wish they've traveled Europe twice. They wish they'd gone to Southeast Asia, all this shit. So you've done things which other people want, but other people have done things that you want. You're never going to be able to have it all. The tricky thing is, comparing yourself just happens subconsciously to other people, especially if they're in similar situations to you, or grew up in the same area as you, or similar age, or have similar interests. You're always going to compare yourself to other people, but I think comparison can be a good thing if used in the right way, if used as competition. I'm a very competitive person, and in the gym space, I look at a lot of other people in my hometown of Adelaide and around my age, and I honestly think I'm probably, from the people that I know of, probably one of the biggest in my city. And that might sound fucking cocky, but I only got here because I used to look at people my age that were bigger than me and think, fuck, I want to be better than them. And now I am better than them. In the sense, don't take it like that, in the sense that I'm actually genuinely quite fucking built. But that's how I got there, because I saw the comparison as competition rather than something that was killing my mood. To summarize everything I've just said, don't quit on something you're passionate about because you think the feeling of being uncomfortable means that you're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes being uncomfortable probably actually means you're going in the right direction, because it means you're taking a risk and a step forward to where you want to be. Next topic is your environment. This topic, oh shit. This topic is a very relatable one, man. I have been in the most vicious cycle of bad fucking environments for so long. When I'm not even gonna like fucking look at this computer for this, because I could ramble on for hours about environment and how that could have a negative effect, but I'm gonna sum it up for you guys quickly in my story. When I was about 16, I was going to a private high school in Adelaide, and I didn't really fit in there because they were all very like AFL Aussie players, and I wasn't. Like, I grew up around Wogs and Europeans, played soccer, no one else did there. Anyway, besides the point, I chose to move schools to a public school, which was more in my area where I was living. As any 16-year-old moving schools for the first time, not really knowing many people, all I wanted to do was fit in and hang out with the cool kids, as everyone likes to do. But what did that entail? What was everyone else doing at this new school? They were every single weekend going to someone's house, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, just being absolute degenerates. We used to go around fucking, I could be calling myself out here. We used to go around like jumping on cars, kicking windows of cars, like just stupid shit. And this was when we were young, man. Like we were 16, 17 years old. And this was a reoccurring cycle up until I graduated high school. So year 12, when I was about 18 years old. Even if I did change friend groups, it was still the same shit. Because for some reason, Australia as a country doesn't really have culture. Think about it. Like, what culture does Australia have? The only thing that comes to my mind is degenerate activity culture. Gambling, alcohol, drugs. That is all I can think about when it comes to Australian culture. Besides maybe beaches and kangaroos and koalas. Like, what else is there, man? But ultimately, even though I was doing all this stupid shit growing up, even up until I was about 21, 22 years old, I still was acting two different lives, because as soon as I was around all these boys doing those sorts of things, that's who I was acting like. But as soon as I was at home with my family, with my brothers, I was acting like a complete different person. I was acting like a professional real estate agent salesman. I was a gym goer. I was trying to eat healthy. But every time Friday came around, bang, I'm hanging out with the wrong people, so I fall into the wrong places. Because ultimately, your environment is the key to how you're going to act. If your environment is bad, you're going to act bad. If your environment is good, you're going to act good. The hardest part about your environment is breaking away from it. I've gone through this recently myself, breaking away from a friendship group, because you believe you are doing the right thing by separating yourself from a group of people who you believe are holding you back. But for some reason, that group of people find it as you are the one attacking them by leaving their friendship group or the situation that they're involved in, because they feel like you are doing the wrong thing by them, which doesn't even make sense, because in reality, it's those people that might not even be doing it consciously, but subconsciously holding you back, because you are a product of your own environment. And if your environment is them and they are a bad environment, you're only going to end up acting like them. So you have to break free of it. Ultimately, what I've found the hardest part about leaving your environment is feeling lonely. Like, within these past probably 3 months, there has been so many times where, like, I don't get messages from people. I don't get messages from people that I used to talk to saying, oh, like, hey, hope you're doing all right, bro. I've got maybe 1 or 2 mates that might check in with me. But other than that, like, there'll be sometimes weeks on end where I won't get asked to go out and do something. Like, I just do my own thing, bro. And I'm not against that as such, because I do like being alone and I'm a very independent person. But naturally, man, like, we're human beings. We're creatures that are social. Like, we like being around people. So sometimes it does get lonely, but, you know, I would rather be lonely and be on the right path rather than be social and be dragged down the wrong path. I hope I haven't been rambling on too much, but this is, like, I guess, a very personal video. So if you're still watching this, like, I appreciate you, because I am opening up quite a bit here. But the biggest change that's happened in my life is, I guess, I've pretty much built a whole new identity and version of myself through taking action on something that I had been dwelling upon doing for a long period of time. Now, I've been training for about 6 years, probably for the past 2.5 years. I have been decently big, and I've seen all these people run businesses online, coaching other people to get in shape. And I've always thought about doing it, but never had the balls to actually do it. I think it's because I'd never really had proper success in something on a grand scheme. Like, I've got a million different small wins, but never a big win. And I think I was scared of failing. And I have actually said this for a long time. My biggest fear in life is being a complete failure, because I feel like ever since I was a kid, I've had so much potential, whether it was with sport, athletics, school. Like, I was always I'm good at every single sport I play. I am smart. Like, I used to do tests without revising at all and get at least a B+. I used to do assignments the night before, not even try, and get high grades. Like, I've always been that person that is good at most things that they do, without sounding like a dickhead. Like, even just like careers, talking to people, like, I'm very personable. I've always been that type of person that can just do majority of things. Don't get me wrong, there's stuff that I'm shit at, like fucking tennis. I suck at tennis, bro. Cleaning, I'm fucking terrible at cleaning. But most things I'm pretty good at, and I've never really had a massive fail at something, so I'm scared of failing, but I'm putting myself out there now. But I've also never really had like a huge win, like running and operating a fucking 6-figure business, for example. I've never done some shit like that, but I'm trying to, but it's fucking scary, man. To be that person that runs a 6-figure business or is extremely wealthy and in the greatest shape of his life, I am never gonna get to that point unless I already start acting like that person who he is. Does that make sense? To be able to be the person that you want to become, you have to start acting like them well before you're ever even that person, because you're never going to become that person by acting the same way that you used to act. Your old habits will not translate into your new life. You have to form new habits for the new person you're wanting to become well before you even get to that point. And ultimately, this is why I'm so passionate about fitness and why it's something I want to do as a career and why I want to help others with it, because it actually formed and changed my whole life. Not just because I fucking look bigger and I put on 35 kg of muscle, but the gym has given me structure. It's taught me to commit to something. It's taught me to stay disciplined with things. It's taught me to treat others respectfully or don't put other people down because they're trying out new things, because I've been in that situation before. It's taught me how to live a healthy life. It's taught me about knowledge that I never would have fucking even thought of. It's introduced me to new people. It's helped me network with brands. Like, it has given me so much, all because I made the decision one day to just step into the gym and naturally just continue on with it. I think the biggest thing it's taught me though is commitment to the cause and keeping promises to myself, because ultimately the gym is something that unless you can be comfortable and learn delayed gratification, you're never going to be able to stick to it long term, because you don't get results long term with the gym. And that's like a lot of things, like running a business, like fucking, I don't know, anything really, like anything. You're never going to get short term unless you get really lucky. Through 6 years of being in the gym, I've been able to keep promises to myself of getting to certain points with my scale weight, getting to certain strength levels with my lifts, getting down in weight, being able to fucking start a fitness page, being able to fucking start a business. Like, so many different shits that I've told myself I want to be able to do. I've actually done it. And even on the small scale of things, like during the recent cut that I've been through, I had to get 10,000 steps every single day. And as someone that worked for a lot of it at an office in a corporate 9 to 5, 10K steps can actually be quite difficult. It might not sound difficult, but it actually can be when you're sitting on your ass all day. Even still, I work at home in my desk. Sometimes it is hard to get 10K steps, but it doesn't matter if it's fucking raining outside, if it's 10 p.m. at night, if I'm extremely busy and I've got shit to do, I'll still hit those step counts. And it's the little things that you can compound over and over and over and over again to teach yourself that if you just stick to something, the results will come. Because you can do it the first time and it'll be hard. The second time it gets a little bit easier. Third time it gets easier. And then after you've done it 3 or 4 times, whatever that thing is, it gradually just gets easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. And it goes from a chore into a habit into just becoming a part of your life. Building a new identity through fitness and what I'm doing now allowed me to naturally increase my level of confidence significantly. And I was already a really confident guy, but my confidence is through the fucking roof now. Like, I've got a massive ego in a good way, not a bad way. And this came not because I was thinking differently, that I wanted more, because thinking about something is easy. I can think about anything. I can think about driving a fucking Porsche 911 right now if I really wanted to. But I became more confident because I started acting differently. And what I mean by that is I started acting like the person who has that Porsche 911 rather than just thinking about having the Porsche 911. And that's how I got to where I am now. So if there's one thing I've learned, it's that change is something that you don't need to avoid. It's something you should probably embrace rather. It's proof that you're actually growing as a person. And I think the reason why a lot of people stay in the same rut and the same cycle for so long is because they're too scared to embrace change. And you're never going to be able to do something different in your life unless you decide to make some sort of change. Looking back at my whole entire life, every good thing that has ever happened to me all stemmed from the same starting point. I was fed up with something or I was stuck and I decided to take action to get to that next point. And that was change. Whether I was uncomfortable, uncertain, just feeling out of place, change brought me out of it. And if you're in that phase right now, I don't think you're lost, bro. I think you're just changing.